Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are here once again with our Cub Cadet 0149, also known as the 14. There's a playlist for this thing if you want to go to get all caught up with everything I've done to it over the last couple years. I'll link it for you right up here and down in the description. Today's mission is going to be to replace the drive shaft and engine coupler in this thing. And to do that, I've got this custom-made eBay supplied, meaning bought on eBay, engine adapter. You may remember from last year, mine was all wallowed out right around here. And this one is supposed to be made from tool steel and then heat treated so it doesn't happen again. I have no affiliation with the company that makes these, and I have no idea if they're going to make them forever, but I'll do my best to throw a link to these in the description if I can find one. And this guy is a regular bog standard from Cub Cadet drive shaft. There's nothing elaborate about it. The one that's on it right now, this hole is kind of wallowed out and the dowel pin slips out of it. And this one did come with a new pin taped to it. In the future, I'd like to tinker around with trying to repair both of my old ones, but I just don't have the equipment to do it quite yet. So I'm going to hang on to them and we'll see if we can actually fix them later on. Because between the two of these parts, I think I'm into this for like $140. Cub Cadet stuff is just mind-bogglingly expensive. But our next step of doing all this stuff is to get these things painted. And that is actually going to be a separate video. So when you guys come back, these will be yellow. As promised, I've made them yellow, all except for that little bit at the back. That little bit I actually had to razor blade back off, and likewise had to clean out of the inside of this thing because the fitment on these is so close that the paint stops it. Which is good, you know, you pay a lot of money for new parts, you want them to fit nice and tight, especially when their failure mode is getting loose and not fitting tight anymore. I also cleaned the paint off quite a bit because although that is more or less the installed position in the tractor, I want this shaft to be able to slide in a little bit, because there's a nub at the other end of it that you have to move to get the little drive shaft biscuit off. So I don't know if it's normal, but at least on mine, I've always been able to just slide this shaft forward to do that. So I stripped enough paint to make sure it still would. Installation should be pretty straightforward. Right down there, you can see my old shaft. I've also already got the tunnel cover off. To remove it, there are just 2 bolts on each side you pull out. Then you can kind of slide it forward and then pick it up and slide it out. The next thing I will need to do is remove the fuel tank and the uprights for it. There are 3 bolts on each side of it. There's one down here, one here, and one here, and that will come out. You'll also have to disconnect the fuel line off the carburetor to do that. Make sure your fuel line is shut off, of course. So I am probably gonna get that done, and then we'll see about getting my old drive shaft out of there. So I got that out of there. Now we can kind of observe where I left things last year. That hose clamp down there is going around the outside of the old collar. It has the old drive shaft in the middle of it, and that hose clamp is the only thing holding that pin in. So my next move is probably going to be just to take that hose clamp back off. Then I'll probably come back here and work on this adapter. I also discovered that one of my fan blades broke off last year. That might be because that drive shaft can kind of wiggle around because everything's so badly worn out. I don't know. One thing too is you may notice mine is different than yours. There's a linkage that goes between this rock arm shaft and a hydraulic cylinder. I took that off because with it on there, the deck only lifts about that far. So I took it off because I get a lot better deck lift, but as a consequence, this comes a lot closer to the fan. So this could have just moved just right and this fan been just right to come up and clip that blade off. Fortunately, years ago, I learned that those fans are junk and that they break about half the times you look at them. So I keep a spare or 2 in stock. And they're also expensive. They're like 15 or 20 bucks. But anyway, so it looks like I'll be putting a new fan on it too. Anyhow, next thing to do there is just get my nuts and bolts out. Those are all 9/16. Last year, I replaced these nuts with new lock nuts so they'd be nice and tight. So I shouldn't have to replace them again this year. So I'm gonna get that stuff all torn off and then we'll meet back up when it's time to actually take the drive shaft out. So I've got my hose clamp pushed on back and there you can see the pin that's going through that coupler. I shouldn't need to do much more than just touch that with a big long screwdriver or something that should just fall right out. In fact, I got this 1/4" extension here. Of course now it's tight. If I mowed with it for 3 seconds, it would shoot that pin out of there, no problem. Get a little hammer. Actually, if I'm gonna hammer on it, I may as well get a punch and all that out and do it right. Plus, it's not like I'm not gonna need the punch to reinstall it. And she's out. That's a stainless pin that I probably just lost because I don't think it's magnetic. On hither, I should be able to just slip this thing forward, which is why I left the paint off of that, the new one. Grab my biscuit, and then just slide this thing back. There we go, and she's free. Now it's out of there, for those of you that weren't here last year, that shows you why I'm replacing this. We'll take a better look at these old worn out parts when I get them out. But my next move is to take these 4 7/16 head bolts out and get this coupler off. As far as I'm aware, this coupler's never been off this tractor, although that one doesn't look yellow, so it may have been replaced once, how many ever years ago. I'm not expecting this to be much of a fun time. So I'm gonna get this guy out of here and hope it's not a huge nightmare, and if it is, we'll discuss it more, any tricks I might have to come up with. So to my delight, this was not at all difficult to get out. Just put the old Milwaukee on it, whop whop, and the screws just came out. In fact, one of the screws was kind of hazardously loose. And whether or not this pin is stainless and new as of last year, it is roached now. We're not gonna be reusing it anyway. And this drive shaft is beyond any repair. I think I'm seeing a pattern going on with all these parts here. As I said initially, I didn't see any yellow paint on this, so I suspect it's been replaced before. And that seems to hold true. This thing has never had any paint on it at all. And this reeks of a repair either my dad or my grandpa would have made. I paint my stuff, they typically wouldn't have. And if it wasn't clear before what was going on, I think there you can see just how egg-shaped that hole is. If we compare it to our new freshness over here, you can see that's supposed to just be a slot. And over here it is made its own hole. So that allows that pin to sit there and chatter back and forth. And you can very plainly see that on this pin. This pin is just absolutely beat. And keep in mind, this was clamped in, so it was pretty much centered up all last year when I was mowing. And I think this was a new pin that year, because I think one fell out in the yard. I'm not sure. I don't think this pin is as old as the tractor anyway. And this thing's just completely roached. This I may be able to repair. I might be able to weld that up and kind of Dremel it out. So I'll hang on to this guy for the future because we'll see. Maybe I can do something with it, maybe I can't. And it's not very big. The drive shaft, however, is much worse than I expected. I expected to see some wear in the hole of the drive shaft, but what's happened is it's actually created a step around this whole OD on this thing. So it's all chewed up in various places. I think you'll be able to see that pretty clearly as I kind of spin it around here. The only way to really repair this thing, well, the only two ways I can think of is one, get a new piece of mild steel tube or whatever this shaft is made out of entirely and cut the weld off and replace it. Or you could maybe build this back up with weld and then turn it down to lathe. I don't have a lathe, so that's not going to happen. I think what's most likely to happen is that this drive shaft is going to go in the trash. And I'm reasonably sure what we're looking at here is a cascade failure, meaning that one thing killed the other. This, I'm almost positive, has been replaced at some point. This drive shaft, since it's got yellow paint on it, I would bet is original to tractor. So this drive shaft was probably kind of screwed up before. I'm guessing the previous one of these was really screwed up and was probably breaking these pins at some point. And whomever decided to only replace this part and cheaped out and didn't replace this part. Can't really blame them, since in modern day money, each of these was like 70 or 80 bucks a piece, I think. So I feel you, homie of the past, be it my dad or my grandpa or the guy 10 guys before that or whatever. And I'll just illustrate how bad this truly is. You can see that thing wiggling around like that, how sloppy that is. Even if I stick her all the way on in there, tons of slop, right? Here's our new freshness. And its tolerance so tight it's actually difficult to assemble. And that's all the movement I can get out of it. I don't even know if you'll really be able to see that. But yeah, so that's nice and tight. Just for fun, we'll throw this old coupler on it. Yeah, the coupler actually fits pretty well. So I think if I did weld up that deformity there and reshape it, that this coupler could live for another day. If we take our new coupler and put it on this old, completely smoked drive shaft, wobble city. So yeah, no good. This thing's probably just destined for the trash because I'm not going to hang on to it for the rest of my life in the hope that maybe someday I can fix it. This guy will keep, because I'm pretty sure this guy I can fix pretty much with the tools I have, just not with the skills. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Time to get the stuff put back in. Should be pretty straightforward. This new shaft came with a new pin. I'm going to use the pin it came with because that is a factory Cub Cadet part. This pin's hitting the trash can. And I think this is going to be installation exactly opposite or reverse. I don't think there's going to be any magic here. Given how loose some of these screws were, I think I am going to put just a touch of blue Loctite on them when I put it back on the motor. And given that this is a custom made part, I also want to make sure that it actually fits correctly. It looks like they missed a chamfer that the factory part would have had on it. I don't know if that's critical or not, but I'm thinking probably not. Anyway, let's get that guy thrown on there. Well, whether or not it needs a chamfer right here remains to be seen, but what I can tell you is that the paint on it is soaking up enough tolerance that it won't fit in the back of the motor. kind of annoying, but also kind of good. That means this part's toleranced very well, and it shouldn't have any slop in it to wear out, especially if it's heat treated as nicely as I was led to believe it is. So what I'm gonna do is take a little bit of lacquer thinner and see if I can clean that off of there and maybe not destroy all the rest of the paint on the front. Serves me right for talking trash about most likely my dad not painting stuff before he bolted on this thing, 30 years ago. Anyway, this is going to be about as fun as it looks like it's going to be, so we'll catch back up in a little while. And that was indeed a fun time. Actually ended up going to that with some acetone and a wire wheel because mineral spirits was not doing anything. But now it fits in the back of the motor. And when it's in there, I can move it just enough to make it click. So it click, 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 click. It might have 1 or 2 thousandths of clearance in it when it's installed, which is really great. The guy that machined this thing really nailed the tolerances right on. With that said, a very small amount of rust is all it will take to make this hopeless to get out ever again. So on the back of the motor, I am going to take some anti-seize and just paint the mating feature of this thing very lightly. Because if you use too much, it's just going to sling it out everywhere anyway. So I'm going to paint it very lightly before I install this. And it should be just pretty straightforward, bolt it back on. So that went pretty much exactly as expected. But with just a little bit of anti-seize in there, there's now so little clearance in this thing that I can't even make it jiggle anymore. And if I kind of pull it off of there, you can see these bolts are all still loose. All I hear is like a slight suction sound from the grease releasing. So good on the dude that built this thing. He hit his dimensions just right bang on. Hopefully that's good news for his material selection and heat treating and everything, meaning that this truly is a better part than the factory one. I don't think it was, I'm not sure if it was any more money than a factory Cub Cadet one, but definitely happy about rolling the dice trying this one, just based on the fitment alone. Anyway, gonna get those guys tightened down and then we'll get to putting the drive shaft back in this thing. So there we go, no drama really. I did not end up Loctiting these. I did actually get my torque wrench out and set them. These appear to be 1/4-20 thread. So I set my torque wrench at 8 foot-pounds and went around it twice, made sure they're tight. So I want them tight, but not any tighter than they're supposed to be, and I certainly don't want to break them off, so got the torque wrench out, just play it safe. Worth mentioning, good reminder to myself to get an inch-pounds torque wrench because 8 pounds on a clicker 3/8 wrench is really hard to feel. Anyway, she's on there solid. Let's go get our fan moved over to our new drive shaft. What I meant to say was let's go get a new fan and put on there. And then I looked around for my new fans for 45 minutes after I said, hey, I keep these in stock, and found none in stock. I think maybe I've got 1 or 2 at my dad's place, but that's 2 hours from here. So today, we're just gonna reuse this dude. And when I say today, I mean probably this entire summer. So I already know that the whole transmission has to come out of this thing next spring, next winter. So be sure to subscribe if you want to wait a year to see that. And again, my fan is artificially further back than the Cub Cadet location would be. I think they'd be more up here. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I've got about 3/8 of an inch between this mount and this blade. So that is where I'm going to want to put it back on the other drive shaft. So I certainly don't want to lose any more teeth. And there's just a little spring clip in here. Boop. And this guy should, more or less, just kind of slip on off of there. It's probably going to be a lot of fun to get past this paint, too. That's probably why they paint these things assembled when they build them. Or, 50 years ago when they built them. Let's see if this is a complete nightmare. Oh, no. As long as I don't break it anymore. It's going to be a nightmare to get off, though, I can tell that. And that's about 3/8 of an inch. Rotate it so the blade isn't directly in line with a bolt hole, hopefully. Maybe just a touch more. Put our clip back on. And I actually think this tool I've got in my hand right now is the reason I may not have any more fans. These are Kinepec snap ring pliers, and they come in a dedicated set that's like, I think, a little over $200. And a couple of years back, I got real pissed off the snap rings on this tractor and bought them because I had some complete junk ones before. And I think I ran out of money from buying the Kinepec stuff. It's why I may not have bought more than one fan. Yeah, well, something you definitely want to do is make sure the ring is actually down in there. There's no groove in the fan for it, but it is supposed to set flush. Okie dokie. And this really is one of those installation reverse of a uninstallation dealies. I'm going to slide this guy in here. Except I'm betting it's going to be fun to get it lined up front because that coupler is brand new. So there's not hardly any slack in it or any lateral slop in it. Maybe it's going to end up being a good thing I didn't put a new fan on so I don't just break one right out of the box trying to assemble this for the first time. And right there, it's just barely crooked to the tractor. But yeah, you can see it pretty well. And it is not wanting to start in there. So I'm gonna get the camera out of my way and fidget with it for a little bit, and hopefully just some two-handed fidgeting kajiggering will get her on in. I have read forum posts of guys saying to split the tractor to replace the drive shaft, and I never needed to. This might be why, because my old shaft was just beat. So what I've just learned here is that with parts that are not beat to crap, at least for me today, the way you want to do this is build this up exactly as you see it here before you put it on the tractor. That is to say, put the biscuit on the drive shaft with the fan and take the engine collar off the motor and install it with the drive shaft. So I've just got that one bolt holding mine in right now. As tight as the tolerances are stacked on this thing now, I don't have enough angle to actually weasel it in, so that's the only way I have to put this all together without splitting the tractor. Not that big of a deal though, just got to take those 4 bolts to get the drive shaft out now instead of just flopping it on out the back, so I'll take it. So the next time you guys come back, this should be all razzmatazz done. So that ended up being kind of a mixed bag. My overall approach worked out just fine. For these parts, I definitely wanted to put it all in as one piece and then spread it out and bolt it together. Did end up with a small issue up here though. Turns out, despite my best efforts, one of the bolt holes in, I don't know, this flywheel or fan or whatever is stripped. Try as I may to do this right, one of them stripped. The other 3 are good. I'm going to pretend it didn't happen and worry about it next year when I address all this other crap. Other items of note, where there was no paint on that, I just smeared a bunch of anti-seize on it just to keep it from hopefully flash rusting over, because we definitely want that collar to be able to slide or we will never get this apart again. And the tolerance on the pin itself to the collar, once everything was put in there, was really tight. What I mean when I say that is that it's pushed as far that way as it can really go. So getting that pin to drive in is kind of difficult. Might be kind of difficult getting it back out too. But we'll see. Pretty confident it's not going to fall out. And one last thing. That little shiny dot down there is a grease zerk for the steering column, at least on this tractor, and who knows what's been done to it over the years. It's basically impossible to get to any other time except when the fuel tank and everything is off. So if you're doing this, make sure you grab that grease zerk and give her a whole bunch of squirts of grease. Go for broke down there. And there should be almost entirely put back together. I'm going to wait until I get it greased up and get the deck on it and get it running and everything before I put the tunnel cover back on, just to make sure my cooling fan isn't going to hit the hydraulic ram. Pretty sure that's how I broke the fan that's on it. Otherwise, I'm out of time to have fun. Should have been mowing with this thing probably 2, maybe even 3 weeks ago. Some of my neighbors were mowing like 5 weeks ago. So it's definitely time to get her pressed back into service. If this is your first visit to the channel and you want to see what it's like to annually maintenance one of these things, check out the playlist. I made like an hour-long video last year where I went over everything on this thing. And it's all time-stamped, so you can jump around if you want. But that's it for this one. And as always, guys, appreciate you stopping in. We'll catch you on the next one. I'm Max, that's Saddington Bear, and we make videos like this all the time. Here are a couple links to some other videos we've made, and we really appreciate you guys stopping in.